Ben, as much as I like lying down as well, that's wood. I mean, I guess you have a jacket behind you, but really, that's wood. You can sleep on something so much better. Is it a theater stage? I don't know. Where am I going with this? This is an album review, by the way. Sing to Me Instead is the debut solo album of Ben Platt. This guy has been in a limelight of sorts, depending on what you are familiar with. This guy has been doing mostly theater, Broadway, and other things of the drama production nature, and the man has capacity to sing as well. I'm not sure entirely how much different all of his singing is on stage versus on a CD or recording, because this didn't feel like a theater album, and I don't think that's what he was going for. There are times where I can kind of tell that that's kind of where his vocal training comes from. I'm not really sure what the main intention was with this album. And I'm trying to say that because I'm curious. I'm not saying that as like a jab or anything or something to pound it down with. I'm really trying to understand, you got this music talent, and yeah, I invite you to share it. What are you doing, like sharing it this way? The album slowly is a little puzzling. There's parts of this album where I am drawn to, but not emotionally attached to. It's like it's inviting me, and I like to take a peek, and I enjoy that, and then I kind of move on. And then I know that there are others who are going to go, and they're going to want to stay for the experience the entire time. And that's great. That's great for them. And I think it's okay if this isn't really something that you're really tasting and enjoying. It's kind of just up in the air. Also, this is apparently marketed as a pop album, probably more like a classical pop album. I felt kind of more along the singer-songwriter vibes, even though there's a lot of other elements that would suggest that it can't technically belong in that genre. Now, don't get me wrong, there are moments in this album that I think do have their moment to shine. As an example, the fourth track, Grow As We Go, is definitely the way that I think the entire album should have gone. And then later on, we get to see a little bit more of the lyrical content of the album with the song Better. You can just tell after listening to it that some good thoughts and some time were placed into what does the song want to say and what kind of ways does it feel like expressing it. And when you realize that, the impressive meter starts to rise a little bit more. And then there's also moments where it feels like it gets just a little bit confusing, because there's moments where I feel like he's kind of aiming for a Josh Groban-esque kind of way to bellow out his vocal cords. And I don't mean like in a grandiose kind of way. It just seems like that's kind of the direction he was aiming for. And then there's another song where I felt like he was almost kind of going for more of an Aloe Black version, which I kind of laughed at when I thought about for the first time. Other songs included in this album, like Older and Share Your Address, kind of make me question what kind of ideas go into his mind when he wants to come up with an idea for a song. And then, of course, being kind of the icon that he is in his realm, he has to create a song that I feel like all the girls will absolutely woo over, which is called In Case You Didn't Live Forever. And actually, that's kind of one that I think I could actually legitimately see in some sort of script of some kind on the theater. There are highs, there are lows, there are things in between that I can respect, other things that I question, and overall, I think that he probably has success on the stage. I'm not saying that this is totally the wrong course that he was taking, but there's probably other things that he's a little bit better. I mean, for heaven's sakes, the guy has a Tony Award. He also recently won a Grammy Award on an album, so he knows how to incorporate music in that regard, but it was with, more people. So if you're not really sure what you're getting out of this review that I'm sharing, I'm not entirely sure if I know what I'm getting out of it. I know there are at least 2 or 3 songs that I took away from here that I enjoyed. And then the rest of his style I can't quite dissect, but that's okay. There's plenty of more time for him to be able to do that, especially if he feels like releasing more music on a solo basis. But if not, we have plenty of things that I'm sure we're going to see from him in theater, maybe in acting. I don't know. I'm not going to try and give him guidance or anything like that. I think he's succeeding pretty well on his own. So after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 96%, creativity 88%, expression and lyrics 88%, I'm going to give this album a good. Let me know what you took away from this. I'm kind of curious about that, because if you are big fans of what he does on stage, I'd like to know by contrast if you feel like he's doing just as good on this album. I don't have a lot to draw from that. I just found this album and realized, oh, hey, this guy's really, actually kind of big in the theater scene. Yeah, let me know if you know more about him, because I would like to know what your opinions are and if you like this direction that he chose to take on a musical level. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time. You can change right next to me. Do you know me better, and we'll take it slow and grow.